So many of you who are watching this right now have heard the term content is king, and I'm a big fan of content. I'm all in on content. This whole book's about content, so clearly I'm a fan. However, context matters more than ever because we have a problem. The world is predicated on supply and demand. Supply and demand rules the roast. People don't realize it, people overlook it. It's a very basic economic principle that a lot of people have taken for granted, and it's not the sexy thing to talk about. But let me talk about it for a minute. Content used to be rare. Let me explain. 30 years ago, where were we, 2014? 30 years ago, pre-cable television at scale, there was 13 channels of television. There was 40 magazines that mattered. There was some radio stations that mattered and some books, right? There was a supply and demand issue. There were still 300 million people in America. There were still the numbers for the most part around the world, but there was far less content. And so, and this is gonna get me very unpopular with a lot of you, especially if you're in the older demo, screw Walter Cronkite. He only beat out 2 other people. He was the great anchor man of his time, but he only had to beat out people that were on channel 4 and 7, and that was it. 2 other people that were decided to be on there by another human being who ran the stations. And so now, in a world of YouTube, in a world of Facebook and Pinterest and Vine and Tumblr, it's complete capitalism for content. I, in an office in New Jersey, in a camera like this, with 3 bottles of wine for 20 minutes a day, became a force of nature in the wine business, and I was in New Jersey. I didn't have to go to LA. I didn't have to go to Bordeaux or to Napa Valley and become it. I did it at the confines of my own home, my office, which was my home, I worked a lot, and I became this brand. We have more content being produced now in 1 week's time than used to be produced in years at a time. And so when you start thinking about what that all means, we have a supply and demand issue. There's a lot of comedians now. They're everywhere. They're on Vine, they're on YouTube, they're writing blog posts, they're on Tumblr. It's not just one HBO special and the HBO decided who we're all gonna love, you know? And yes, Eddie Murphy still would have broken through in today's world, but now you actually have to be the best. And to me, that capitalism is exciting. And so content has a supply and demand issue. There's more supply of content than ever. The demand is equal, and so now you have a problem. Now you have to actually be great. Now you actually have to break through. Now you actually have to know what you're doing. And to me, that's quite exciting because the days of 7 or 8 kingmakers, because they ran the networks and the newspapers, are over.